Okay. Hold on a minute. Don't mean to poke anything. Took some scrap shelving, this particle board shelving crap. I was trying to save the ends, but it just didn't work. The radio used to be tucked up that way, so if I was looking at it from here, it was straight across. But yesterday I was noticing something. I usually sit here in front of the computer. This way, got my second monitor. TV's there, other radios up there, other computer. Scanner's kind of over there out of the way, but I just leave that on at a minimum volume so I can hear it. But the radio was over that way. And every time I wanted to do something, I either had to lean over or get up. Well, it's not that I'm lazy. But at the same token, why should I do a lot of extra work if I don't need to? So I just put this little piece up real quick, and it kind of like, one, gives me something else to put shit on. That train is coming your way, Matt. Gives me something to put crap on. Protects the top of the radio. You know, I was able to tilt the radio this way more, so now I can just do everything right from here. And if I have to get behind it, I just slide it out, and all my connections are right there. Now this kind of gave me an idea. What I'm thinking of doing, not right now, because again, I've said it over and over and over again, hopefully we should be out of here. It won't be this year, because winter is coming upon us relatively quick. And like I said earlier, it's not going to happen that fast. It's just, you know, to buy a house, do something to it if has to be done, color change, whatever. Sell this one, and then do the actual move. It would be, it's not impossible. If it was just the wife and I can probably say it's not a problem. But when we have the 5 boys, it makes things a little bit harder, because you can't shuffle them around that fast. So if a house comes up between now and then, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them. So here's another problem. Not to change the subject, but we're looking to move into like the Gainesville area. Gainesville, Ocala, or somewhere in between, preferably up around Gainesville. You know, and with the hurricane just going through there, a lot of these houses may have a lot of hidden damages that we're not going to know about. Now, an inspector should know. However, to find one that you can trust. Because a lot of them, especially if you ask the agent, if you ask the agent do you have an inspector? That inspector, even though he's supposed to do his job, he's there for the agent, because the agent's feeding him money, you know, by giving him the business. So he's going to leave a lot of open doors. Well, I couldn't really see that because it was behind the wall, you know, that type of thing, you know, or I really couldn't see that because there was something in the way. You know, when in fact he knows, but by leaving that loophole for himself, you know, you can't go after him and say, listen, you dumb bum, you know, so that's what happens. So I'm going to try to find an independent that doesn't know the agent and that's working for me, and let them know exactly what I'm doing, what I'm wanting, and Skyping. And I may even have to go down there as we do. Now, if a nice house comes up or something that we want, we don't care if we have to do a little work on it. You know, I don't want a fixer-upper. You know, but, you know, if it has a hole in the wall, it doesn't bother me. However, sometimes when a house shows little neglect, there's a lot of neglect hiding behind the walls, you know, or in the plumbing or something else. But again, we don't mind doing a little work here and there. And, you know, something like that, you know. But again, if we find something that we want, we'll buy it, you know, and we'll just move next year. You know, we'll just buy it, and I'll go down there, you know, have the power turned on. I'll put timers throughout the house. I'll put a radio or maybe a little portable TV or something in there to turn on and off. Hey! Internet naturally, and I will put a lot of these cameras because I'd have them there anyway, so I'll put them in there. Alright, I like these little Amcrest 1080p cameras. Alright, I've got, I think, what do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, I think. 5? I'd have to look now, I don't remember. And I got a couple of Samsungs too, which I hate. And I've got a Nest, which I also hate, which was used to be a drop cam. But meanwhile, I'll put a bunch of those up. Not a bunch, but, you know, maybe 4 of them. You know, 2 on the outside so I can see down both corners and around, because they are, you know, adjustable, you know, through the phone. And a couple on the inside. Yeah, this here way, you know, they alert you when they go off. They record, you know, onto an SD card. So at this point, you know, just put a couple of those there. And if somebody decides they want to get near the property or break in, when it lets me know, I can just tell them, get off the property. You know, and leave it at that. And then I'll give my sons and my daughter the code for the cameras, because they're in Florida. Right? Now they are maybe an hour or so away, but they're a lot closer than 24 hours away. So at that point, at least the house will be somewhat protected. So, but meanwhile, I want to build, again, I got off track. I want to build a control, basically a control station, you know, a communication station, to where it comes around me like this, and I can have my radios, you know, because once you get into this, it gets addictive. Already there's a bunch of radios I want to buy. Some of them are going to do the exact same thing as this one does, but sometimes you have to listen to 2 or 3 different frequencies, so you have 2 or 3 different radios going, yes, at the same time. And but anyway, then you have amplifiers, tuners, meters, blah 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 blah. I am holding myself back right now only because, you know, we may be moving, and I don't want to just start blowing money that we may need. So I'm not buying any more radios other than the one that's coming in this week. Well, maybe one more, but meanwhile, that's where I'm at. But I want to build a console, a control type console, so that it'll swing around. But other than that, that's about it. It's a nice day today. I was just talking with my son down there in Florida. Well, via text. You know, since text came along, people forget how to talk. You know, I mean, it's a lot easier, I guess, in a way. You know, you just send a text and it's done. You know, you're not on the phone and things. So, but meanwhile, oh, we've been splitting wood over there, as you can see, cutting it and splitting it. We've probably got, I don't know, there's probably at least, well, I don't know. The whole side of the left side of that shed, when you walk in, it is covered up to the ceiling. So I don't know how much is actually in there. It's 1 row deep. It's about 6 feet high, and it's about 15 feet, maybe 18 feet long. But anyway, we still have that to do. The wife and I do it on the weekend. This way we can do it together. Because, you know, cutting the wood, moving it around, lifting it, putting it in place, you know, it's a little bit of a strain, you know, and it's something, again, me with, you know, a bad back and a ticker that doesn't know if it wants to tick or not. Yeah, I'd rather not do a lot of strenuous stuff unless the wife is around. And again, I don't want her doing anything either. So I tell her, she can split anything she can lift from 6 inches down. All right, you know, and at that point, she's not doing any real lifting. So she runs the splitter, and I do all the cutting, and I do all the big stuff. Or sometimes I'll put the big stuff on there and hold it while she runs the actual control and splits it. Now when I get to the real big stuff, I'll just set it upright so I can just, you know, roll it over there and split it. But most of the time we're right there. But it's a nice day. Oh, I was talking with my son in Florida. He went down to visit. He went to Disneyland. He's down there, well, he's been down there for 8 or 9 days now, and he's coming back, I believe, on Friday. Well, he's leaving on Friday. They drove down, so he'll be back here for that Monday. Next Monday, I'm gonna go back to work. But he said it's nice. Everything's okay now. Everything passed. There's still some power out, but nothing. They can still enjoy themselves. There's still a lot going on at Disneyland. There's still a lot of people there, and or Disney World, whatever you want to call it. And at that point, you know, it's worth staying for the rest of the week. So they're going to stay for the rest of the week. My son that lives down there around the Port Charlotte area, I believe. He was down in North Fort Myers, Cape Coral area, but they had moved after he got married up to, I believe it was Port Charlotte. And I heard from his wife and him saying that, you know, everything was okay, they made it through it. I had not heard from my daughter yet. She did send me a text last night with a picture of my granddaughter, because I haven't seen my granddaughter in a few years, probably 7 years. Because again, I just can't get down there. So she sent me a picture of my granddaughter via text, and actually I told her get the earring out of her nose. All right, that's what the farmers use to put rings in the bulls' noses so they can keep them under control and lead them around. She doesn't need anything in there for somebody to take control of her. Get that thing out of your nose. So, like, she's going to listen anyway. But meanwhile, that's about it. So the weather's passed. Now it's just for the cleanup. You know, they're hoping the power, you know, will go on, you know, first. You know, let's get the power going, which I'm sure that's what they're looking to do. Can't do much cleaning up without power. And take it one step at a time. So it seems like they made it through it without any injuries, which was good. They, you know, are, you know, they're comfortable, but yet, you know, they haven't got all the amenities right now. But other than that, that's about it. Now this is, again, the Bodycam. I'm using it, and I'm doing some of this recording only to use it, and then I put it on, I format it, you know, I save the video, I post the video so I can see how it looks. I can see how it looks and monitor it here, but by posting it, my kids get a chance to see it too if they want. Like I told you before, they don't really get on these things. They may get on to watch, but they don't do any commenting. They're not big YouTubers or Facebooks. They do have a Facebook, but they're like me. Very seldom do you ever see me on Facebook. You know, most of the time I just delete them unless I see it from one of my kids. And then, you know, texting is the thing too. But meanwhile, I'm just checking the camera, you know, to make sure, because like I say, once I had that glitch in it, you know, you kind of like think about it. But now that I know I just have to refresh it, but do I want to refresh it every time I decide I want to go out with it and use it? Because then it would be a pain in the ass. So, but so far it seems to be working okay. Alright guys,